どうもどうもどうも、カイ先輩ですけれども、これからね、英語で喋りましょう。どうも、久しぶりですね。これ生放送なんですけれども、今日はちょっと軽く英語で喋りましょうね。ごめんね、なんか日本語がちょっと錆びてるって感じ。でもまあ、日本に、まだいないから、しょうがないんじゃないですか。話す機会があんまりなくてすいませんね。でもまあ、逆に君もね、第二言語の話すチャンス、機会があんまりないんじゃない？まあだからこういう生放送の、まあセミナーっていうかわかんないんですけれども、とりあえず英語で喋りましょうか。I mean, like, seriously, もうちょっと説明しますね。だって、これからの目標って、まあ、普通に英語で喋るって、会話するっていう目標ですね。普通にね、カイ先輩の英語が、まあ、教育英語弁より普通にもうカリフォルニア弁で喋りたいと思うんですね。で、それで、まあ、こういう自然な英語を聞いたことあるかどうかわかんないんですけれども、ちょっとまあ経験として、普通に英語で喋りますね。それで、これが今ね、Zoom の、リンクをシェアしますね。それで、それクリックして、もし、カイ先輩と英語で会話したかったら、なんていう、参加してくださいね。その Zoom にね。そうか。今日のバックグラウンドがそっちなんだね。まあ、ちょっと待ってくださいね。リンクを今からシェアしますね。それで、リンクをシェアしてから、まあ、英語モードになりますね。よろしくお願いします。はいはいはい。まあ、これ生放送だから、なんかまあ、まだ、参加、してくれる後輩、まあ、これから集まるからね。もうちょっと待ってくださいね。はいはい。これで、はい。じゃあ、これでリンクをシェアしましたね。で、このリンクをちゃんと、これ合ってるかうん、見えないか見えるちょっと待って。リンクが読めなかったらちょっと意味なくないって感じ。はいはいはい。まあ、ズームのリンクが見えるよね。はいはいはい。だからその Zoom リンクをクリックすると、まあ、カイ先輩のあれに、参加できますね。よろしくお願いします。見えるでしょうね。まあ一応ね、もう一回やりますね。なんか2つリンクあるんですけどもね、なんか両方も見えるかどうかわかんないから、ちょっと待ってくださいね。これは、あれね。これは Zoom リンクですね。で、この Zoom リンクを、一応、あれにするね。ペンで。これペンなのはいはいはいはい。はい、じゃあこれはペンでですね。アンペンじゃなくてこれはペンね。これはアンペンにしましょう。これがペンね。はい。それで、もし、カイ先輩で、カイ先輩と、こうやって生放送で話すのが怖かったら、ね。だって生放送だからね。まあ、俺の3ステップ学習法をご覧くださいね。なんだろうね。なんか、本気でバイリングルになりたい後輩に、俺の意識をシェアしたいな。それでもう、なんだろうね。一番勉強になるレッスンってなんだろうって感じ。俺いつも考えてるんですよ。ね。俺の動画とかさ、人気動画を作っても、一番なんか勉強になる時間を作りたいと思うんですね。なんか動画を作ると、まあ、1億人が見てくれるんですけれども、会話にならないから、ね、片道って感じですね。俺がずっとバーバーバーってしてるからね。こうやって会話にならないと、まあ、君に勉強にならないから、まあ、こういう生放送をやりたいと思いますね。もう、君のためだからね。本当にもういろいろ、まあ YouTube、毎日ね、もうぐるぐるしてるんですけれどもね、他の YouTuber も見てるし、まあ最近 AI ともちょっと会話してるよね。YouTube の、なんだろうね、使い方なんだろうね。だって結局 YouTuber になるとなんか数学になっちゃうんですね。で、数学もう下手やからさ、留学した時も、なんだっけな、なんか、数学、だからまあ数学だっけ。 数学、algebra ね、数学だよね。なんか留学した時、もう数学もう無理だったんですよね。俺にはね。だから数学の3時間目だったっけみたいなね。俺ずっと日本語の勉強してたんだよね。どっちかに言うと、まあ日本語勉強した方が、なんだろうね。やばいじゃんって感じ。数学わかんなくても、なんか、いろいろできるんじゃないと思ったんだけど、ね。だから、何を勉強してんのって感じですね。俺は YouTuber だから、結局、ね、確率の世界になっちゃうんだよね。これクリックするか、クリックしないかって感じですね。それでもともと俺が、なんだろうね、何が面白いかなと思って、まあ芸能人の英語のリアクションって感じで、なんかこの人何人かわかんないんですけれども、その人の英語を聞いて決める。顔じゃなくて、名前じゃなくて、評判じゃなくて、俺の耳、ちょっと信用してるから、まあ、そういうアプローチで、ちょっと海先輩のキャラクターを、作りましたよね。なんかそれ、理解してるかどうかわかんないよね。みんなね、こう、キャラクターって感じで、海先輩ですみたいなね。俺普通に、こんなキャラクターしないと思うんだよね。なんか日常的にね。まあ、しかも日本語で喋るとこんな感じになりますね。でもなんか日本語で話す機会がなくて、なんだろうね、俺の普通の本人の性格が出るかなと思ってね。だから、まあ、こうやって日本語で1000年話しても、君にはそれメリットないよね。日本語で全て説明してもね。悟りの、やり方を説明しても日本語でね。意味なくない？もし君の目標が英語を勉強し、なんか英語でペラペラになりたいという目標があればね。だから、I think it's kind of important that I give you guys the real deal. And here we are. The real deal is happening, and I'm glad that you're here. Thank you so much. I hope it doesn't sound like two different people are talking because I think that my Japanese personality has a little more of a wacky, zany, kind of maybe, I don't know, weird Sesame Street feel to it. When I first started teaching English, I was teaching kids, like babies. So there is definitely that influence into how I kind of explain things, right? But I'm not here to entertain anybody. I'm here to really kind of like blow your mind, basically. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to expand your consciousness and think about new things. Well, how about this? We're going to be thinking about the same old thing. Like, every day, everybody's just kind of like doing the same thing, right? Like, it's not like anything new is really happening, but we're going to be approaching it from the English vantage point. There we go. Switch that. I was in the camper room for some reason. Whatever. That's my magical little. That's where I am actually. The more that I think about it, it's like I'm on a magical space camper, kind of just like living this like digital nomad dream, But now that we're in my studio kind of thing here, I kind of feel a little more artistic from here, if that makes any sense. Because at the end of the day, everything I'm doing here, I'm very aware that this is kind of like an act of imagination. You know what I mean? That I'm imagining this background that I drew, like I drew all this by hand just because it's fun, right? And, I made this shirt for, I don't know, my wardrobe because I think it'd be really cool to have something original that nobody's ever seen before. You know what I mean? Like if anybody understands fashion and understanding, that kind of like the original, you know what I mean? Like if anybody wanted to go for like a Kurt Cobain grunge look, it's like, it's too late, you're copying the original guy, right? So in fashion, there is kind of like this quest for originality, right? And so I'm like, well, fuck it. I got something that nobody's ever seen before. Let's see what it looks like in a shirt. So here we are with my little shirt. And I hope you can't see it all, but like it's got my color system. Yeah, you got. Oh, cool. Guess what? So like if can you see the O? That's a green O, right? For on, right? So like the green O is because it's green, you can't see it because I got the filter on. Oh, that's so cool. Wait, do you see the O? Do you see that? For on, right? So rad because it's green. Wow, dude, so cool. Anyway, having fun and trying to really get to the point though. Half of what I do is actually fun. I'm not going to lie. Being a YouTuber is interesting for sure. Like the things that I think about are definitely not the things normal people think about. I'm very convinced of that. For example, every day I kind of look at my analytics and I see, okay, 10,000 people a day are watching my videos. Now what? Like what's the point? So what? Who cares? And I want to make content that's good for you guys, something that's actually going to educate you, and like help you in your life. So I'm thinking what's cool, what's not cool, what's good for you, what's not good for you. And I see other people, other YouTubers, they're teaching English, and everybody's got a mission and everybody's got a style, right? But I noticed, there's this like, oh, I went to Hollywood kind of thing. And I've seen a few YouTubers like do like videos in Hollywood, right? And I'm like, okay, so first of all, right, like I used to live in Hollywood and I never found a reason to go outside, to like, because even if I do street interview videos, it's not, like the reaction videos, that's what you guys have been watching, you know what I mean? So I could try it, but then I got to go out, then I have to like edit. And it takes a lot of time to like do the whole thing because it's like I could just stay in the studio and just film kind of the videos that I know that you guys do watch, right? So anyway, my primary decision making is like, okay, how do I do like the best possible lesson possible for you guys? Best lesson possible. I think I threw in too many words there, but anyway, again, this is live, guys. So it's like, oh, Kaizip, I made a mistake. It's like, yep. It definitely happens. And I want you to see in real time the thought process of somebody that's actually thinking in English without like being polite, for lack of a better word. I do remember one of the big differences that I learned when I was an exchange student, and it's definitely true, but our cultures have different, I don't want to say like differences, but just different like emphases, is that even a word? But different things that we focus on. So your culture, your Japanese culture, I don't know who you are, I'm assuming you're Japanese, but like in Japanese culture, there is a kind of like a respect and politeness, right? And we have those values too, believe it or not. It's just more often than not, we focus on being friendly versus polite. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we have polite, we also have friendly, and that's what we focus on, right? So, it's not this or that. It's just kind of like developing a consciousness that allows you to read the room to who you're talking to and then speaking to that audience, right? And so when I'm doing what I'm doing right now, I'm assuming you speak English because this is how I would talk if you actually spoke English. Now, if you're not understanding what I'm saying, then you need to raise your hand and ask me a question. And you can,チャット使ってくださいね. Because seriously, I'm just going to assume that you're on my level of just, speaking English, and I'm going to talk normally. That's it. Now, if you think this normal is too fast, then you got to raise your hand, right? If you think my pronunciation is a little too American, well, you got to raise your hand, right? You got to step up and you got to educate yourself. Like, I mean, talk about like the secret. なんか英会話の悟りって、まあ自分でね、気がついた方がいい like 悟り開くって right? You got to teach yourself how to learn, right? And so my job is just actually to, I don't know, be authentic and be honest, right? That's it. It's your job to learn. It's not my job to learn. I already did it, you know? So right now, my job is not to learn. It's to be authentic and in that speak the truth as far as I understand it. So that's my goal. Now your job is to, well, just express yourself. That's it. If you can't understand what I'm saying, then your job becomes maybe you should learn English, right? And that becomes a rabbit hole. And I've talked about that rabbit hole so many different times. I don't want to have to explain it, you know, like every single time I do this. Having said that, you know it because I always have some sort of system that I really want you guys to experience the process of how to become bilingual. And I'm very sure that I've said this a lot of times, so I'm just going to skip through it really quick here. First, we listen, then we mimic, then we polish it, and then, you know, we get back into the conversation. But, you know, you can't start a conversation, you can't start listening unless you're in a conversation, right? So, you know, where does this begin? Where does it end? You are always at one of these points at any given time throughout your studying, right? So, well, if you're not doing one of these things, then you're not studying. How about that? Does that make sense? And that was a really good, think about it. You know what I mean? この中の一つでもやってなかったらね、英語の勉強してない。なんか、英語の文字の勉強してるかもわかんないけど、英会話の勉強になってないよね。大丈夫かな？これやってなかったら、英語を話すことに関して勉強にならない。本読んだり書いたりするとね、なんかもうメリットがないって感じですね。So, it's super important that every day you do at least one of these things. And if you can't have a conversation, then just listen to a video, right? And even if you listen to a video, you can mimic what you heard in the video, right? You're like, oh my God, Kai Senpai always says like, right? So maybe I should say right. And if you're really listening to how I say right, you don't hear the T, right? You mean you hear that? So, oh wow, this is so cool because it's like I can totally, even if it's just a simple, how do you say, example, I can show it to you guys live. So, even if I say the word, right. Oh my gosh. Does anybody else have that problem? Okay, so right. Let me just make sure it's coming in on the camera there. There we go, right. And now, see how fast that I do this. And I have all my tools set up, so, you know, you guys can see how I kind of design lessons as well. This is kind of like back, there we go. Kind of like back behind the scenes kind of stuff right now. So anyway, first we go down to, and I'll show you how fast I know my color system. Okay, so that's I, right? And then if you'll notice the GH, we don't pronounce it, so that becomes invisible, right? And then you just heard me say right, but a lot of times I say right, I don't say that T, it becomes a glottal stop, right? And there you go. Like I just threw together a lesson, and now, you know, if you learned anything today, you learned how to say right. Intonation 入れてね。right. なんか歌ってるからね。So anyway, this is all just to say that you could be listening to something, right? And then, oh, I'm going to mimic something that I heard. I don't know what you're interested in. I don't know what is your challenge today unless you raise your hand. It's like native speakers are just having a conversation. They're just talking, blah, 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 talking, and things go in, things go out. We don't even think about it. We just do it, right? For the most part. So it's like, if you're not up to date with how we're actually having conversations, then it is your responsibility to let everybody know that, hey, can somebody answer my question? I have a question. And, most people are nice, so they will definitely answer your question. So that really does pull us back full circle here. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask, and do not be embarrassed, because this is literally the learning process. So now that you know the process, you gotta basically come in and have the conversation, right? And then you listen. But more importantly, you gotta listen to your own voice, but that becomes like the meta lesson. In the meantime, you just gotta plow through the conversation and just practice listening to a real person talking real English, right? And then you got to practice mimicking what you hear, and then you got to polish by yourself. You got to work on the intonation. You got to work on the pronunciation. And if you have the tools to work on it, cool, then do it. If you don't have the tools for it, well, check out my 3-step video, because I explain everything about the American accent, the California accent, the key pronunciation patterns that you should learn, and then the key 省略パターンね that really get you to sound like an American, because the gonna and the woulda and the gotta, everything, there's so many things that we say that's like, oh, you totally sound like an American or Californian because of these key contraction patterns, right? So if you know these, then you can say them, and then you say them, people think, oh wow, your English is so good. This is literally how you improve. You just improve your accent. And if you don't know how to do it, then like I said, check out the video. But if you're already above that, if you've done all the studying, if you've had all the lessons, if you've got a job at a foreign company and you're still having trouble understanding English, or problems with your pronunciation, well then hop onto the Zoom call, man, or lady. I was gonna say babe, but that's you got to know who you're talking to, right, dude? So anyway, this is all to say that this is just one big opportunity for you to actually speak. I honestly would rather listen, because what else can I say? There's nothing that I can say that's going to get you to speak until you speak. That's kind of like the whole, how do I get better? Well, it starts with you. You have to choose what you're going to do to get better. And my philosophy is that the other schools aren't really telling you the truth on how to learn a second language. And that's why you get that stuck feeling, because you're not doing one of these 4 things. You got a book, you're reading, you're writing, you're texting, you're making comments on my YouTube video, you're speaking Japanese. None of these things are going to improve your English. And that's one of the funny things. I'll get these comments from people, and it's like, dude, I don't even know if you're learning English, but these videos are designed for people learning English. So if you're not even going to speak English, then that would mean that you don't want to speak English, or you can't speak English. But these videos are for people learning. So if you're not learning, I'm literally not talking to you. I know it seems like entertainment, right? Like, ooh, 芸能人のリアクション面白い. Maybe, yeah, but if you really think about it, those videos are jam-packed full of like tidbits of like real information. The next video that I'm working on, no spoilers, even though you guys are cool. I want to share everything that I'm doing with you guys, but the next video is going to be cool because I'll say this, there's a YouTuber that I found, and it's kind of like 英語の評価, but I'm just gonna like get rid of the whole like 彼女がネイティブかどうかわかりませんみたいなキャラクターね. I'm gonna get rid of that. And I've already listened, so I'm just gonna give you like 13 signs that she might be native, which I think is a little more interesting for those of you that actually want to learn English. So again, as much as this is entertaining and interesting, I'm not here to be entertaining or interesting. I'm literally here to like blow your mind, right? Get you to kind of like learn how to sound like a Californian. 違うか? So yeah, that's the whole point of today, and I thank you for coming. I thank you for sticking around. Now, today is just going to be a little honest with you guys. And by honest, I kind of mean more like talking about my situation as opposed to your situation, because your situation is what? You're in Japan, don't have a lot of opportunities to speak English. And so you come onto YouTube, you come onto the internet, and you kind of look for English, right? And so you can listen, you can mimic, and you can kind of polish. But really, if you're watching anything else on YouTube, it's kind of hard to have a conversation with the video, you know what I mean? So it is my responsibility, I think, to all of my kohai to come out here live and just have open discussion, basically. Now, I do understand that a lot of my kohai are kind of shy, and that's something that I've been thinking about, but I'm kind of like sticking to my ground, sticking to my guns on this one, because I think that it is really important that you have a conversation, right, in English today, now. And if you're ready to do that, then just jump on the Zoom, right? Like, that's it. But if you already kind of like feel in your gut that you're like, but I don't want to talk in front of everybody because I know that I'm working on my accents. I know that I have problems, right? It's kind of embarrassing. Well, first of all, you don't have to be embarrassed because we're all learning something all the time. I just was super lucky on how I discovered that accent was like the real key. And I explain everything in the video, right? So if you see that link ね、俺の3ステップ学習法聞いてくださいね。だって俺のちょっと物語をシェアするね。留学した時の話ね。だってなんだろう、教育、なんだっけ、日本語をね、教育英語弁って感じだけど、日本語のなんだっけ、ですますの標準語ね。舞鶴について標準語なんていうかな、勉強したっていうか教えられた、これは日本語です、これからよろしくお願いします。でもなんか舞鶴のクラスメイト2年5組の皆様ね、なんか舞鶴弁で喋っとったんやんでそのギャップね、誰も教えてくれなかったよね。なんかもう1ヶ月ぐらい経ってはぁって感じちょっと待ってみたいなね2つバージョンあんのって感じですね。って感じ。ほんとって感じ。でもなんか標準語の方話した方がいいんじゃないって言われたのね、先生に。で、いや、なんか普通に喋りたいじゃん。ね。 だからそこのあれね、チョイスって感じね。君も同じだと思うんですね。標準語の英語はない。ね。実は。みんななまっとる。しょうがない。だから、なまりを選べないといけないのね。で、アメリカのなまりもあるし、イギリスのブリティッシュのなまりもあるし、まあ、オーストラリア、いろいろあるんですけれども、俺は、すべてのなまり知らない。話せない。ね。一つしか知らないから、一つしか教えない。で、それが、まあ、俺のオファー。申し訳ない。アメリカ英語、カリフォルニア英語を教えますって感じですね。もしブリティッシュの方がいいと思ったら、じゃあ、ブリティッシュ英語の、YouTuber に、いらっしゃってください。違うか。ね。だから、みんななまっとる。で、君が、まあ、英語ネイティブのなまりで喋りたかったら、まあ、じゃあ、まず、なまりを選んでくださいって感じですね。今のジャパニーズなまりでいいんだったら、まあじゃあどうぞって感じ。でも、まあなんだっけな、成田先生、ハーバード、イェールの、なんだっけ、先生、彼の英語を聞いて、まあどうですかね。そのカタカナ英語のなまりって、まあ、それちょっと別の話だよね。君はね、違うよね。もっと英語ネイティブみたいに喋れるようになりたいよね。じゃあ、これですね。これしかない。毎日会話って感じ。毎日会話。毎日会話やれば、上達するよ。でももっと早く上達したかったら、モノマネだよね。本当にもう、この絵の中に全て書いてあります。だって、書いても読んでも意味ない。これ、音の次元だから、音を聞いて、音をモノマネして、音を磨いて、音で会話しましょうね。はい。So, this is your chance. If you click the link to the Zoom, then we hop onto the Zoom. We have a nice little conversation, and it's not going to be like a lesson. We're just going to have a normal conversation. If you don't want to hop onto the Zoom, which is fine, then you're basically just going to be stuck listening to me, and listening to me. It's like, well, why would you want to listen to me? Okay, that's right. I have like 100% California English. So if you wanted to learn that, then this would be super interesting, I think. But I'm always just worried that like people don't understand that like mastering your accent is like the thing that you got to do. So, me explaining English is kind of like the one lesson that I got to do. But then me explaining like the meta lesson, like the how to learn English kind of thing, or the how to think in English, right? There's so many different things going on. So it's like, who am I talking to, right? So that's why I have the two choices. Because if you need the basics, if you need like the fundamentals, then 絶対俺の3ステップ学習法を聞いた方が、勉強になると思うよね。If you need the basics, right? But if you're like, nah, man, I've studied a lot. I was an exchange student in college. Now I'm back in Japan, but like, I want to get a better job. I've heard a lot of different stories, like from people who are studying English, right? Like a few older people, like have a job, but, they're not like, like it's crazy because like my understanding of Japan is just, well, it's, it's all right. But like I lived in Tokyo, and when you live in Tokyo and you see foreigners every single day, it's crazy because I spoke English every day when I was in Japan just because Well, I had a social circle, I guess, you know. Also, I was like modeling and acting and stuff like that. So I'd go and see other foreigners on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yeah, speaking English in Japan, it's a daily thing. I also spoke Japanese every day because I was surrounded by Japanese people, right? But that's Tokyo. Tokyo is unique. Like, you could totally be bilingual. You could totally live in Japan with only English. Granted, you'll have a limited experience, but you will have an experience, a crazy one too. So, you know, it is what it is in the city, but I realize as I talk to you guys, it's like, oh, that's right. A lot of you live up in Sendai, right? Or in Kyushu, and so, or in Kyoto, but like Maizuru, right? So it's just like, okay, that's right. There's not a lot of opportunities to speak English. If you do live in the countryside, I get it. So even though Kyoto was so easy to talk to tourists, oh my gosh, they're so easy. They're like, I don't know, but no, it's accent. I guarantee you it's accent. If you guys walk up with like a confident accent, they would totally talk to you. It's just that, like, you know, it's been what? So like 20 years or something, like 平和じゃない、昭和平和じゃない、今令和でしょ。そう、平和だったっけ。まあ平和時代、平和じゃないでしょ。なんだっけ。 Oh my god, see, this is like 錆びてるって感じですね。 But basically I discovered accent was the key way back like 25 years ago. It's 2025. アクセントが、まあその鍵ね、まあ気がついてない人がまだ多いと思うんですね。2020年、2025年でもね。でって感じですけれどもまだアクセントに関して勉強してないのなんだろうね、なんかちょっとありえないって感じですね。まあ、だから、今のチャンネル今こうやってレッスンしてますね。その大きなレッスン、大事なレッスンだね。アクセントのことですね。まあどうですか。今日はね、軽くするっていうか、まあ軽くする。なんでかというと、最近俺ちょっと AI と会話してますAI の英会話アプリみたいな AI じゃなくてAI 英語のアプリじゃなくて、なんか普通に平成ありがとうそうですね、平成時代からアクセントが大事って分かってたんですよ、海先輩はね。だからもう令和2025年にもアクセントにしましょう。Now what was I talking about? I already forgot that train. But man, that's one of the problems when you do a live stream like this is that it's like, wait, there's so many different things to talk about. But basically, I'm doing a light live stream today because I've been talking to AI and I'm not using it to learn a language. I'm not using it to like study or anything like that. I'm just using the AI to think. なんだっけ、論理ってこうすればこうなるとか、もしこれやったらこういう結果出るっていう論理ね。で、まあ俺英語勉強してないんですけれども、まあ特に日本語も勉強してないんですけれども、YouTube を勉強してますね、俺。ヘッドラインとサムネの作り方とかね。まあみんなちゃんと見てくれるの、話のなんていうやりとりなんていうそれで、いつも英語で考えてるから、こうやって日本語で YouTube に関してあまり言ったことないからね。英語で考えちゃうんですけれどもね。いつも YouTube 考えると。まあ、いいや、英語で説明しますね。So, when you do YouTube, you gotta like think logically. Like literally, because like YouTube is just logically prioritizing the videos that you see based on the performance that they get from like other audiences, you know? So my videos go out to you guys. You either watch it or you don't, right? And so then YouTube measures it and then like, oh, this video is good or this video is bad. I need to be aware of what you guys watch and don't watch, because if you're watching something, that means you like it. If you don't watch something, it means you don't like it. And there's so many different things to talk about. There's so many different famous people that I can make a video about that, you know, I got to do this in a logical, systematic fashion, because why would I waste my time? Why would I waste your time? You know, especially if, you know, like my one video about the actresses has like 1.5 million views, which is a lot for me. And, but I knew that I could do it when I made it. I was like, oh, if I get 10 people and I, you know, condense the information so it's not too long, but not too short, you know, people would watch and they'll see the progression from the 10 people, because it's like worst to best, right? So if you watch the whole thing, you'll literally hear like, oh, there's a difference between everybody's English here, right? And that difference is 100% the accent, right? So it's just like, oh, wow. So I believe I created a very good experience for everybody, you know, when they are learning about accent. And yeah, 1.5 million people saw that one video, which is pretty cool. But it's 100% like headline, thumbnail, good idea, right? Like appealing, like interesting, right? And then, yeah, like the actual content itself, like what's being watched, what's not being watched, and thinking about how you tell a story, and then looking at the analytics. So I take making videos very, very seriously. And basically the Gemini YouTube kind of algorithm, or not algorithm, AI, the Google's AI, it actually knows YouTube very well. Like it understands the YouTube system. So when I ask it a question, it's like, oh, I know the answer. I'm like, what? Really? So should I focus on average view duration, or should I focus on average percentage view? Like little things like that, questions like that you guys probably don't know. If I search for it on the internet, I'll get like 10 different answers. But when I talk to Google itself, basically, it's like, no, you should focus on AVD. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah. And then it just explains everything. So basically, long story short, AI has led to a breakthrough in how I understand my delivery of the message of, you know, accent. And it's like, hey, if you just reorganize everything, a lot more people are going to learn about the California accent. And that is kind of the goal, right? Is to get as many people like as fluent as possible so that you can have conversations in English to better your life. And that could be for business, starting your own business, making new friends, getting a romantic lover. Like, I don't know how it's going to benefit your life, but as soon as you start speaking English, you open your entire world to a million possibilities. You could go to almost any country in the world, meet somebody new, and develop a new friendship, relationship, business partnership, romantic love story. I don't know. You can do anything if you actually know how to have a conversation. and be genuine and real with somebody, right? So you know that's the possibility in your life. I know it because I've lived it. I've been traveling the world for the past 3 years. Lived in Vietnam, Kyoto, Korea, Bangkok, went to Mexico, and I've experienced a lot of different things, and it's been cool. And I've learned a lot, to say the least. But what about you guys, right? If you only speak Japanese, well, you only get so far, right? Friends, business, love. But if you speak English, you get to join, I don't know, the global conversation, basically. And this isn't saying America is better. I'm not saying America is better than Britain. I'm not saying anything about Chinese is also a world language, right? And so is Spanish, right? Yes, I agree. All the languages are totally not all of them, but there's a lot of global languages that you can learn. So this conversation is really just kind of focusing on English because that's what we're talking about. And if you want to learn Spanish, go there. If you want to learn Chinese, go for it. But this is all about California English too. And boy, I can share so many stories about, immigrants, people that have come to California and the people that work on, speaking with a California accent, people that don't. There's a difference. And it's still your choice to commit to learning an accent or not. You know what I mean? It's all a choice. But if anything, my only real responsibility is just to kind of inform you that you have a choice. And you have the freedom to choose too. You don't have to talk like, I am a Japanese person, therefore I must speak like this. You don't have to. You can talk like a Californian. It's fine. You know what I mean? いや、日本人だからカタカナ英語で話さないと。話さないと何？みたいな。Why would you have to? It doesn't even make sense. So it's this is a choice. And you're going to either make that choice or you're not aware of the choice. And I think that's the problem. That most people are not aware of the choice. So anyway, that leads me back to me in AI, Google AI, having a very long conversation. And it's been going on for days. And it's just you got to reorganize everything. So I'm busy every single day talking with AI. Okay, what about this? What should we do this? Or I got the analytics back. What do you think, right? And it's oh, no, you did it wrong. Do this. Focus on this, right? We're literally having a conversation. And one of the things is, we're talking about my website and stuff. And it's trying to convince me that, no, you should wait. And it's giving me the reasons. And they're really good reasons too. But then I tell it my story. I was I don't know. It's AI. I can see that you're very logical and I get what you're saying because it's logical, but I'm also a human and I can't sit around and wait because there's this technical issue with my website that I can't fix it. The website people have to fix it and I'm waiting. So there's literally nothing I can do, literally nothing except wait. Well, according to AI, right? But I'm what if I do this? What if I do this? And I'm trying to try something new. Well, what about this? What about that? My mind can't stop imagining a shortcut or a workaround or a this or a that. You know what I mean? So I'm just having this conversation, trying to convince the AI that my theory might be right. And so AI was listening to my argument. And I'm look, we've been measuring for the last, 3 weeks and nothing's happening, right? So we can continue down this path or we can try something new. And so it was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then it was also, because I was like, hey, here's the difference between me and you, AI. I have a vision. You don't. And I want to see this vision come true. So how do we make this work? And it's like, oh, you got a point there. So yeah, my vision, it's not so much like, well, the vision is really clear. Everybody speaks English in the future, like at a very confident level. And from that position of ability and of power, people start having conversations with people, new people, other people, and improve their lives. And improve, like, then you like learn to help other people, right? Like, you know, one of the things that is really popping in the news these days is the over tourism, right? Like, it's like these people are, millions of people are coming to Japan to spend money. So help them spend the money. Offer them something. Offer them a tour. I saw on Instagram, this guy is like selling a book of like crazy Japanese stories from like the Edo period or something. And it's in English. The guy's Japanese. But he's like, I think, successfully running a business in English about Japan. Because there's enough curiosity about Japanese culture that people are willing to spend money. So you just got to figure out your position, you know, because like a lot of people that come to Japan, they're like, oh, tell me about the history. And if you're a history nerd, well, then figure out a way. Other people come to Japan for the video games. So if you're into video games, start sharing the news, you know, share your knowledge, share your information. Like, なんだっけ、ぴょぴょっていうゲームあったんじゃない？あれ、アメリカになかったんだよ。だから、日本のぴょぴょって何これみたいな、教えて。So there's always like knowledge that, you know, us, you know, foreigners want to learn about, right? So other people, you know, they come for fashion. Seriously, I know people who moved to Japan because they wanted to be a photographer. Or Tokyo, basically, but you know what I mean. So I don't know what you do, but there's an English speaker that is interested in what you're interested in. So figure out a way to share your story. And you can do that through Instagram. You can do it through YouTube. You can do it in reality. I mean, take your pick, right? So what are you going to do? I don't know. It's up to you. It's your choice. It's your life. This is called freedom. But having the creativity to imagine a situation in which you're talking in English, helping people in English. Like, we can share this general dream, you know what I mean? But the specifics, that's you. That's 100% you to decide what you want to do with your English power. If you want to take a trip and go to America, go to Europe, then do it. Go to Australia, then do it. Go to India. Yeah, English is going to help you, even in India, right? So I'm watching the road trip show on Apple. Ewan McGregor, Scottish guy. I think he's from Scotland. He and his buddy are taking a motorcycle and they're driving around Europe. It's amazing. But they're speaking English in every country they go to. So like they're in Norway right now and they're speaking English. So, you know, how you want to live your life, I don't know. It's up to you. My only lesson, if you really think about it, is just to make you aware that accent is the key. So, yeah, big, long, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, I wanted to keep it light today. I did not email everybody. I did not email my kohai today because I'm keeping it light. I'm going to keep trying. I'm basically restructuring the YouTube channel. The videos I'm going to be making from now are going to have a more positive calibration, because, you know, people like all the comments, it's like, oh, they don't get the shtick that I'm doing. I don't want to have to explain every single time. Like, guys, it's a shtick. Come on. Do you really think, like, Utada Hikaru wa America人だよみたいな like コメントがちょっと多すぎる like, no shit. But I digress. I want to kind of like calibrate the videos, you know, for your benefit. And I want to word everything in the right way so there's no misunderstanding, basically. So all of that is like happening, like I'm planning out the next videos. And then when I do talk about like the deep learning and like that fundamental kind of like, yo, if you want to learn more, right? Because I can't say that. I can't explain that every single time. You know what I mean? Like every single time for me to explain the 3 steps, the 3 keys, you know, it's like, dude, I've said that, and it's in, not only have I said it, but I've said it really succinctly. I said it really well, if you know what I mean. So if you want to check out that video, go ahead, right? Click that video here. But as far as we are concerned today, this Zoom is finished. And this live stream is now done. I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much for watching. It was a fun little, like I said, it was a light day today. I'm going to hopefully next week and the next week do a more kind of like a bigger live stream. But for today, it was just like, hey, I didn't see you guys last week. Want to say hi, fill you guys in on, well, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do. And I understand that a lot of you are embarrassed or shy to talk live like this. So, you know, I get it, but I wanted to offer you the opportunity. So if you're not ready to talk live today, maybe you will be next week. But in the meantime, you can check out the 3-step 学習法 ね? And I don't know, learn something if you haven't already. A lot of people have already seen it, so it's like cool. But if you haven't, go check it out. The link is somewhere on the thing, I think. So anyway, it's a Sunday, right, in Japan. Getting hot yet? Temperature has been really good here in California. Not gonna lie, I'm in no rush in the sense to leave the weather here. But for me right now, my biggest priority is just kind of like reorganizing my YouTube channel. So that's going to be my next week. But in the meantime, I hope you have a good week. I hope you have fun, and I hope you speak English all week. And you can definitely do it if you continue to, I don't know, watch some videos, talk to yourself, journal, you know, look up words in the dictionary. But the most important thing that you can possibly do is just get out there and talk to somebody, guys. Seriously, I can only say it so much, but I don't like seeing people suffer. And to alleviate any suffering that's going on in your head, probably should just get out and talk to somebody, even if it's a small conversation, even if it's a trivial conversation, even if it's just small talk. Just get out there, talk to somebody, say something new, meet somebody, connect. I mean, I swear to God, like I go to my cafe, and I saw this old dude say to another older guy, he's like, hey, nice hat. And then they ended up talking for like 30 minutes. So, you know, get out there, say something nice to somebody, make a connection, and enjoy your life, guys. I don't want to spend any more time on the internet than I have to. You know, life-work balance. But I understand that it's powerful, and it allows me to talk to hundreds of you in the course of an hour. So I appreciate technology, but I appreciate real life experience even more. So get out there, say hi to somebody on the streets, and like I said, make a friend, guys. Get out there. Make it doesn't have to even be a friend,お知り合い. But yeah, I hope you stay positive, and I hope it continues to be fun. But this whole transformation that you're going through takes a little time. Don't worry about it. If you ever feel frustrated, take a nap, go to bed, wake up the next day, and just focus on what matters. And every single day, I swear to God, just pick the easiest one. And if you can have a conversation right there, then do it. If you can't, well, just keep listening. But if you're brave, start mimicking. But if you're determined, start polishing. But if you're ready, have a conversation. So simple, right? All right, guys, it's been fun. Nice light little day today. I will talk to you soon, and have a good, beautiful